welcome. Giving USA 2024's report is out, and everyone wants to know what should we take away from the report on philanthropy for the year 2023. My colleague Sharon and I are here together to share some key findings and some hot calls to action. Let me first quickly introduce myself, Alexis Cooke, Chief Operating Officer for Alford Group. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm joining you today from my living room in Santa Monica, the ancestral unceded territory of the Tongva peoples. I'm a white woman with shoulder-length blonde hair, and I'm wearing a navy blue blouse today.
I'm Sharon, Tiknis, Chief Client Experience Officer with Alford Group. My pronouns are she, her. I'm coming to you from my home office in Prescott, Arizona, the ancestral home of the Yavapai people. I am a white woman with short brown hair and wearing a red top, and excited to share this great data with you. So Giving USA is a report on total philanthropic giving. It is a big data project, the oldest, most comprehensive report on charitable giving in the United States. It's published by the Giving USA Foundation, which is part of the Giving Institute, which is a group of national firms like Alford Group. The report is researched and written by the Indiana University Lilly Family School of Philanthropy. And appropriately, the report is made possible by contributions by Giving Institute members and other donors, including Alford Group, a member of the Giving Institute, and for more than 30 years, a significant donor to this wonderful body of research. And because you are a friend of Alford Group, we'll share with you how to get a discount to the full report in the description of this video. In a moment, we'll review the report's primary giving data, and then we'll share our key takeaways. But we want to invite you to think about those themes as we report the data, and here they are. Be both community-informed and donor-centric. Be intentional and be bold.
That's right, Sharon, and thank you. Let's get straight to the headline. Thanks to a better than expected economic performance in 2023, giving reached $557.16 billion. Though this is a notable increase and a new high, giving did not outpace inflation. And Giving USA data is reported in current dollars and inflation-adjusted dollars. And for our presentations, we will share information with the inflation-adjusted data in order to provide you a more accurate year-to-year depiction based on the value of the dollar. Now, as you can see here, charitable giving has declined 11 times since 1983, tied to economic downturns, including in 2023. And when we see over the past 10 years, that trend line is way up, and we really want to acknowledge that and point to that. Now, we all know that giving goes up when the economy performs well and our confidence increases. And in 2023, disposable personal income, the S&P 500, and the GDP all performed well and better than was forecasted. And while inflation reached an all-time high of 8% in 2022, we saw it drop to 4.1% in 2023, getting us closer to the long-term average of 3.28%.
Given that strong economic environment, Alexis, I want to break down the total giving, starting with corporations. Corporations gave 7% of total giving and is the fastest growing giving source with a 5-year average growth rate of 14.3%. It's amazing. And thankfully, companies are shifting their giving strategies and vehicles. Looking at individual giving, which includes, of course, households, it comprises 67% of total giving and represents the majority of the giving landscape. Mega gifts, those very, very large gifts, represented only 1.4% of that individual giving, and we often think that that comprises the greatest piece of it. Looking at bequests, 8% of total giving, it remained relatively flat. And we just always like to call your attention to the fact that bequests with assets valued below $1 million represented 18% of bequest giving. And we always want to remind ourselves how important it is to have a robust planned giving program that doesn't overlook smaller estates. Giving by foundations, which includes grants from independent, community, and operating foundations, represents just under 20% of all gifts made in 2023, and this was its second highest year of giving on record. So that's a lot of data, and we want to just point out that giving by individuals totaled 84.5% when you put together bequests and giving to foundation, half of giving to foundations, which includes family foundations and donor advised funds and giving to community foundations, when you add that all together, giving by individuals is holding steady. Looking at it slightly differently over the past 3 years and carrying that theme forward with the strong economic factors that lead to foundation giving at a higher level and corporations giving more of their profit, you can see here in the cumulative change column that we want to keep focused on economic factors that create confidence in increased individual giving, and similarly take advantage of that rise when foundations have greater earnings and corporations are generating more profit. So on the next slide, we want to keep in mind why we want to make bold asks. As giving to foundations continues to grow over time, there's a greater opportunity there. And that also is seen over the past 3 years of continued growth in giving to health and the arts, which often happens during strong economic periods. And of course, there's some declines in 2 of the 9 subsectors, but nonetheless, the future looks good.
Individual giving is decreasing slightly year over year, and we think that focusing on that decline may be putting the attention in the wrong place. With individuals represented across bequests, foundations, donor advised funds, and the many ways individuals are leaning in and supporting their community. And let's not leave out the economic factors that contributed to very high corporate performance, as you said, Sharon. Well, you're probably hearing that relationships are more important than ever. So let's jump into what this could mean for you. And let's talk about these 3 tangible calls to action. We want to embrace community-informed organizational impact and strategy and donor-centric fundraising practices. We want to intentionally build relationship strategies for the longer journey, targeting ultimate or transformational gifts in your solicitation. Solicitations, and we want you to be bold and make those asks.
So diving a bit deeper here on our first call to action, Alford Group deeply believes in the power of community-centric fundraising practices. We're seeing our clients continue to work in the wake of COVID-19 and the systemic racial and social justice urgencies. Our most successful client fundraising teams are blending community-informed strategies with organizational impact and donor-centric fundraising methodology. We see that those clients who sought inclusive strategic planning processes, who prioritized community listening tours, and who created multi-year strategic implementation plans founded on their community's needs are more successfully aligning their donor intentions. These organizations are not radically overturning traditional relationship building practices. In fact, they're embracing their impact stories, key metrics, validating donor intent, intelligence, and other community work while taking the time to educate and connect with their donors in community-informed priorities, which leads to our next call to action.
Yes, thank you. Transformational giving really does mean something different to each of us, whether it's a lead gift for a major capital campaign or a modest planned gift commitment, or maybe that annual gift was stretched and I increased it to just $5,000. The point is that any donor at any gift level may make what they define as an ultimate or transformational gift in relation to their capacity. By shifting this narrative within our fundraising practice, we are inviting a far larger pool of donors to the table to learn about and support our work. One key piece here is that our definition of a donor has changed, and we are redefining what generosity means within our community and to our organization. And nonprofits must embrace this in their fundraising strategies. Building relationships with our mid-level donors, seeking repeat giving behaviors, and strengthening retention is more important than ever. So let's define engagement strategies for all giving levels, continue to qualify prospects in our portfolios, prioritize relationship building activities with mapped out 6 to 24-month action plans, and let those evolve for each of our assigned donors and prospects as we learn more about their intentions. Consider bundling giving and giving asks, and invite your donors to discuss a holistic annual commitment. Let's be sure we are advocating for investment in cultivation and stewardship strategies, and be sure we're working away from transactional fundraising practices. We want to reinvest in creating opportunities for the community to come together with smaller, more intimate events or larger gatherings that build presence. And we want you to be part of your community and attend events around town. Intentionally curating your donor journeys with a focus on cultivation and stewardship builds trust, it deepens partnerships, and ultimately provides you room to go in and ask for that Transformational gift.
Well, here, let's talk about being bold in those big asks. So starting again with corporations, the fastest growing giving source. Listen, corporations are making more profit. So let's get in there and we can create new emphasis in the way that corporations are supporting us through matching gifts, through volunteer hours, through in-kind support. Each of these represent a commitment to impact and impact-driven giving models and investments in your organizations that align with the community's purpose. So looking ahead, expect opportunity for partnerships. There's more corporate dollars available, so be bold and ask for them to invest in their community. We cannot undervalue the importance of legacy giving, of creating opportunities for people to support organizations beyond their lifetime. So if you're not thinking about planned giving, you're at risk of missing not just significant piece of the philanthropic pie, but also the opportunity to deepen your relationships with your donors. Let's invite our donors to discuss their philanthropy holistically. Let's ask them under what circumstances would they consider renewing their annual support and a contribution to make an estate gift to a restricted program. Let's bundle those asks and include a request for a commitment to planned giving. Finally, foundations represent 20% of all giving. They're doing so much great work to formalize their grant-making priorities and hone their processes. Jump in there. This doesn't mean that a grant is off the table if they say no. With the economy being strong, there's more foundation dollars to give. Let's get in there and ask for it. So in the spirit of the Olympics, let's go for the gold. Be bold and make big asks.
Well, thank you. Thanks for joining us today. And for more information to make moves on these calls to action, we invite you to register for Alford Group's national webinar, The Future of Philanthropy, on Tuesday, July 30th. Don't forget, as a friend of Alford Group, to check the description for information on how to redeem your discounted copy of the Giving USA 2024 Annual Report on Philanthropy for the year 2023. And please reach out anytime. Leave us a comment or connect with us on social media or through our website at alford.com. Sharon, this was a blast. I love being with you.
Fun.
So fun. And thank you again.